Have you ever heard someone say, I just bought some Apple stocks? And then you thought, what does that even mean? Are they buying a product or an iPod or a piece of paper or a ticket? Let's slow down together and talk about what a share really is. Because once you understand this, the whole world of investing starts to make more sense. Welcome to today's Coffee and Learn session. I am Victoria, investor, soldier, wife, and mom, and I am documenting our family's journey to a $1 million portfolio, 5 Bitcoins, and 50 Ethereums. Every week we meet here with our coffee in hand to learn one small doable steps towards peaceful, confident wealth building. So let's sip, breathe, and start with the basics. What exactly are we buying when we invest in a company? You should actually drink your coffee, right? When you buy a share of a company, you're not buying like a lottery ticket. You're buying an ownership, a real slice of the business. If a company, for example, has 1 million shares and you own 100, you literally own 100 tiny pieces of everything that company owns. Its building, its technology, its profit, even the debts the company has. One of my favorite quotes from Warren Buffett says, when you buy a stock, you're buying a piece of a business, and you should treat it that way. So that means when you buy Apple stock, you own a little piece of every iPhone, MacBook, AirPod sold around the world. You're not gambling on a chart. You're joining a company that creates things people use every single day. You yourself might be an Apple user. Think about your own house. When you own your house, you benefit if the neighborhood grows and improves, right? It's the same with the stocks. As the company grows and becomes more valuable, so does your own tiny piece of share you have in that company. Now, I want to make sure I'm explaining this well. So here is something to help you picture it better. Every Saturday, my family does a Target run, right? We get snacks, laundry, detergent, like a myriad of lists, right? Target earns profit from families like mine and yours doing the exact same thing shopping from them, right? So when we own Target stock, a little slice of that everyday spending flows right back to you as an investor. So we're not just customers anymore, we're co-owners. And that is the quiet mindset shift I like to teach from the consumer to the investor mindset. But let's clear something up that confuses a lot of people. So a price of a company, the share, is not the same as the value of the company. The price of a company, let's say $100, is what buyers and sellers agree on today. The value of the company is what the company is truly worth based off of its product, its profits, and its future potential, right? So people are emotional. They vote every day on prices. That's why on the chart you see it goes up and down. But over time, the company's real value, the actual what, is what you see, and that's what counts. So why do companies even sell their shares in the first place? Because they need you. You're a partner. They need you to grow, right? Instead of them taking loans, they invite people like me and you as investors to be part of the business. And in return, we share in the success. So another example, if there's a local daycare that wants to open a second location in your neighborhood, and then they sold 10% of the business to, the parents who believed in it, right? Those parents provide the money to expand. If the daycare does well, the shares that the parents have, it rises. That's just the stock market. So think of it like that. The local bakery, the Coca-Cola, everything, all those companies, right? They reward you in 2 ways. First, the shares become more valuable. They worth more. That's what we call growth, the capital gains. And second, many of those companies, like I shared in previous videos, they pay profits, and that's what we call dividends as a thank you to the owners, right? So, and that dividend, you let it compound. Albert Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world because it is what turns small, steady actions into something powerful. Dividends that you reinvest, they keep buying more shares, which earn more dividends, and it goes on and on and on. So if all of that feels abstract, let me come up with another example that might help. Think of your kitchen, right? What are the brands in your kitchen? You have Kellogg cereals, Clorox wipes, maybe Coke or Pepsi in the fridge. Behind all those labels is a business that you yourself could own a part of. That's what makes investing empowering, your everyday spending connected to your long-term wealth. When I finally understood that, I stopped seeing the stock market as, gambling or casino, and started seeing it as partnership with the world around me. So every time my kids watch a Disney movie, I smile because that story on screen also fuels our family's future, right? So more sales Disney has, the more my portfolio grows, right? So remember, a share isn't just a number on an app, it's ownership, a real piece of the real companies who are serving products and services that we families use. And owning even a small slice of that is how you can quietly build extraordinary future. If this session helped you see investing in a clearer, calmer way, subscribe and join me in the next Coffee and Learn session where we'll talk about something every investor faces: risk and reward, and how to manage both without losing sleep. Thank you and see you next time.